I'm Peter Vaughan, and today, no, I'm not in the Cotswolds, I'm not in Norfolk, I'm not even in the Yorkshire Dales. I'm at Camping Park Sexton in the Dolomites in Italy with this, the brand new Bailey Alora 69-4S. Now this is part of their 3-model Alora range. There's also an I, island bed, T, twin beds. Not sure what the S stands for, but it's a transverse double at the back. And these Aloras are all 3.5-ton compact motorhomes. Particularly, they are narrow, just 2.12 metres wide. That's narrower than a Swift Ascari, a Rapido C-Series, an Auto Trail XL. In fact, about the only low profile I could find that's as narrow is Adria's Compact. But of course, this is a Bailey built in Bristol, so it has a very comprehensive UK style spec. Habitation door on the UK side, and like most Baileys these days, it's based on a Ford Transit, here with the 130 horsepower engine and 6-speed manual gearbox. You can upgrade that to the 155 horsepower engine and the 6-speed automatic gearbox for a £2,000 option. Prices, by the way, for all 3 Alora models start at £75,499, and that's an all-in spec. Apart from that automatic gearbox, there are no other factory options to add. You might want to get your dealer to add an awning though, but everything else, well, as you see it here, the only options fitted are those covers on the door mirrors and the very suitable off-road style tyres. Well, I think we're going to be needing those. Seen from the front, you can appreciate just how compact the Alora is with that 2.12 metres overall width. And when you look at the body, it hardly sticks out beyond the cab at all. And I think this style of compact, low profile, narrow, slimline bodied, low profile motorhomes is going to be a real growth area. We've seen several new models launched in this part of the market in the last year or so, and well, it's not hard to see the appeal. You've got the flat sides and the insulation of a coach-built motorhome, but so much easier to drive on narrow roads through town centres and so on. Now the other dimensions of this vehicle, it's 6.99 metres long and 2.85 metres high. Now the other important statistic on this vehicle is of course being a bit smaller, a bit narrower, it has a better payload. So even on a 3,500 kilo maximum gross weight, you have 550 kilograms of payload, which is pretty good. And well, you can tell this test is all about winter camping. You couldn't get much more extreme than this. I think it's, well, it's 11:30 in the morning, it's -4, but tonight it's due to be -19. Well, that's even more extreme than grade 3 testing, which this vehicle has already passed in a cold chamber. In that, you have to go from -15 to +20. Let's see how we get on tonight. But you can see it's already been seriously cold from the icicles along the skirt there. Heating in this van is Truma's Combi 4 diesel and electric heating. That's a first for Bailey in a coach-built motorhome. And of course, the freshwater tank is inboard, thankfully, so that won't freeze, and it's 115 litres tank, so a good size too. Waste tank is, however, underfloor, and that is 100 litres capacity. All Aloras come with this dove grey exterior on the habitation and a white Ford cab. Now, of course, being a Bailey, it's got Alutech construction, and to quote from their website, it is a structural interlocking aluminium extrusion external framework with no external fixing points for additional strength and rigidity. Upper body panels manufactured using superior bead application laminating technology for a stronger, more consistent bond. And upper body panels using a timber-free construction incorporating a composite plastic internal skeleton, high-density polystyrene insulation and a GRP inner wall lining. Now, what I can tell you, of course, as I said, it's past the grade 3 insulation and heating test. It's got a 6-year body shell integrity water ingress warranty, and that can be extended to 10 years at extra cost. So let's show you some of the standard features on the outside. Well, you get these 16-inch alloy wheels as standard. They are actually black, not black and white, but you also get these nice framed polyplastic windows, very upmarket touch. Mains hookup point and of course your toilet servicing. You vent for the Truma boiler, and then the first of your external garage doors. And on the offside here, you've got access into your gas locker in the garage there. That holds one 6-kilo cylinder. After all, you won't need a lot of gas because the heating and the boiler are, as I said, diesel and mains electric. The garage doors by Hartel have compression locks and double seals, so they should be nice and watertight. And down here you've got a simple T-handle for emptying the waste grey water tank. Well, in normal conditions that should work very well, but I'm expecting it to freeze up tonight. And then round at the back you have your Thule mounting points for a bike rack if you want to add one of those, but as standard you do get the forward reversing camera up here under the high level brake light. There's a second garage door, of course, on the near side, and also on this side you've got a drawer from some odds and ends. You've got 12-volt and main sockets, access to some of the plumbing in there. You've got fixed tie-down hooks, and this nice practical flooring. Would pack the snow chains, of course, which you will need if you come to somewhere like this in the middle of winter. The table, now that's a change since the prototype was launched at the October NEC show. It's now a freestanding table and it stores here in the garage. There's also been a change as a result of that in the bed makeup in the dinette bed, so you do need this board now to make up the second bed. But in production that won't store in the garage, that will store under the fixed bed in the back of the van. And then the garage dimensions are just over 1 metre in height, 1.01 metres high and around 65 centimetres wide. And then there's not much more to show you down the near side. I do like these very modern graphics that sit proud of the bodywork. But the main thing, of course, is the habitation door. Hartel door with a deep window. It's a nice low entrance without any need for an external step. And then you've got a bin on the door, mounting for an umbrella, although Bailey don't give you a brolly as standard. And then, of course, a fly screen on the door. But I don't think we're going to be bothered by mozzies today, and I'm more interested in going inside and getting out of the cold. I should say too that the door is locked with the forward remote control central locking. So, time at last to defrost my hands and go inside. As you can see, nice easy step, internal step as well, and it's a lot cosier in here. I should have mentioned at the outset too that this, not only is it Bailey's latest model, it is our fixed double bed motorhome of the year 2024. Now, one of the things that won this Bailey that award is that it does feel very spacious inside for a compact motorhome. And there are two good reasons for that, two unusual reasons. For a start, as I said, you've got that transverse double bed at the back rather than an island bed, so that's taking up around about 1.5 metres of the overall length of the vehicle rather than well over 2 metres that you'd expect with an island bed layout. So a lot less room dedicated to the bedroom and therefore more room in the lounge and the washroom, this back end of the vehicle feeling much more spacious. And another reason why this Alora feels so spacious is that unlike most other narrow-bodied low profiles, it has a side sofa lounge. Very en vogue in bigger motorhomes, but in these compact models you tend to see the more continental style of half dinette seating. This just feels so much more open and more convivial on sight. So you don't get any feeling of this being a narrower vehicle inside because of this layout. Cab seats, of course, swivel, and in the usual Ford style, they're a little bit lower than the settees in the back, and the floor here is a little bit higher, but none of that is of any great consequence. You've got a big opening over cab sunroof, so lots of light into the front of the vehicle, and you've got a midi hecky, just a push-up one over the lounge as well, although that isn't letting a lot of light in here because it's covered in snow. Side windows aren't particularly big, so that gives a sort of cosier feel to the lounge. You're not in a sort of goldfish bowl style lounge, and I do like these surrounds to the windows rather than using curtains. In this particular prototype we've got curtains in the cab, but they won't be fitted in the production model because you have these Remis blinds on the cab windows, and those are adequate to achieve the grade 3 standard for heating and insulation. You can spin the front seats right the way round to put your feet up, and that's probably what you'll want to do if you're watching telly, because the TV bracket is over on the washroom wall over on that side. Get these nice Alora scatter cushions too, and plenty of room to invite friends in. But I'll show you my favourite place to sit, which wouldn't be for watching telly. Now this is my favourite place to sit. So comfortable here, just feet up on the sofa, and a great place to watch the JCB that's clearing the snow outside. Well, never seen that before. Artificial lighting, well, you've got these mood lights above the top lockers, great reading lights above the cab seats, and those have got built-in USBs as well. So a nice feel to the lounge. Now let's see it with a table up. Now you saw the table stored in the garage where it has to travel, but it's quite easy to get at, and I suspect all the time that you're on site, if you're not actually using the table, you'll stow it just on the rear bed. And it's always handy to have a freestanding table so you don't have to carry an extra table to use outside. It's a really good sized table, especially as I suspect most Alora buyers will be couples. Nice and sturdy too, but I don't think I'll be using it outside today. Now, of course, side sofas are all very well on site, but if you need rear travel seats, well, they are like a chocolate teapot. So, Bailey has solved that, as others have, with fold-up travel seats underneath the settees. Now you'll see that there is obviously restricted storage because of the travel seats. Got a little bit of storage, tiny bit at the end there, and of course some storage underneath the seats, but it is difficult to get at because there's no drop front doors down here. But you just swing up these seat bases, and then you need these extra cushions that simply slot into place and attach with these straps. Got these little flaps at the side. You do have to step over these panels, but well, there's plenty of legroom sitting here. And of course, the other side, you've got another rear travel seat. So it doesn't take long to turn this into a 4 travel seat vehicle. Seats are reasonably comfortable, adequate legroom, and they've got Isofix, as well as of course the 3-point seat belts. The only strange thing is these panels here that you have to sort of step over to get into the seats. And I should just add that there's no storage really under this seat, because that's where the habitation electrics are, your fuses and so on. If you're going to carry rear passengers on your travels, of course you do need to carry those extra cushions, either lying on the bed or perhaps in the garage while you travel. And then when you make up those travel seats, well, you do end up with the sofa cushions left over. But we'll need those back for the next transformation of the lounge into the second bed. Now, the large panel that you need to unfold into this space between the sofas is quite heavy, but at least on the production vehicles it will be stored in the van rather than in the garage. And anyway, this is a 2-person van for occasional 4-person use. The bed, if you do make this front bed, well, it is fairly flat. It's only 4 cushions, ridges aren't too obvious, and the size is pretty good. 1.96 metres by 1.34 metres, narrowing at the foot to 1.10 metres. That's 6'5" by 4'3", narrowing to 3'7". And of course, you've got these flat blinds, which are unusual in the grey, and then the cab blinds around the front. But the front bed isn't the one you'll be wanting to use. Not only does this rear bedroom look very swish, but you've got these very neat fold-out steps to access it. No ladder or, well, just trying to climb aloft couldn't be easier than that. Just a couple of very easy steps up, and you have a bed that measures 1.85 metres long by 1.5 metres wide, or 6'1" by 4'11". Now, if you think that doesn't sound terribly long, your actually measurement from the headboard to the wall is a bit more. That's 1.94 metres. And the beauty of this bedroom is that you can comfortably sit up in bed. You've got neat little recess here for your phone or, well, any sort of nighttime oddments. Plenty of clothes storage in these cupboards over the end of the bed too, and of course you've got a pair of reading lights with built-in USBs. Plenty of ventilation too, if the weather's, well, a little different to here. You've got this big midi hecky roof light above and an opening window at the foot of the bed. But the main thing is, this is a really comfortable bed in which you can comfortably sit up. You've even got a privacy curtain. And you haven't just got the fold-out steps under the bed, you've got a useful drawer and this rather clever pull-out wardrobe. And then you've got the kitchen. Well, it's everything you'd hope for in a compact British motorhome. Cover over the sink, so a bit of worktop there, and then you've got more worktop by pulling up this extension panel by the door. The cooker is a Thetford Triplex Plus, so not only have you got 3 gas rings and a mains hot plate, and then a combined oven and grill underneath. Plenty of storage, a couple of big cupboards down below, and a large cutlery and utensil drawer. And then up top, this is something that Bailey introduced a few years ago. Rather than fitting several cupboard doors, one big massive door, so you open it and you can see everything that's in there in one go. Lift up the sink cover and, well, it's a large sink, but with the cover in place, well, that's when you'd be able to use the 2 main sockets there. And you've got your control panel for your diesel heating just behind, and well, plenty of floor space, because with the timber door for the washroom open, that sort of shares the floor space back here. And then over on the other side, you've got your tall fridge freezer, 137.6 litre maximum capacity, with a bottle drawer at the bottom. So, last night it was minus 20 degrees. Look at the record-breaking icicle we've developed. Inside the van, toasty, 17 degrees, lovely. Went to bed, slept like a baby, until 4 a.m. Then I woke up, heating had gone off, error code on the Truma display saying a lack of fuel supply. Now, unfortunately, at 4 a.m. I didn't think to just switch to electric for the heating, so it did drop. By early morning it was 7 degrees, 6-7 degrees inside, pretty chilly for getting up. Talking to Truma, we've discovered that there is an issue with these diesel heaters with the Ford cab in the pickup of the fuel, and if you haven't got a pretty much full tank of diesel, there can be issues with the heating system working properly. Now, Truma are aware of it. It's not just with Bailey product, and they are looking into it. As Alora isn't yet into production, it should all be solved by the time production vehicles are going down the line. But a bit of an issue for me that early in the morning. But on the plus side, look at it. What a location. This camping park Sexton is amazing. Most luxurious campsite I've ever stayed on. Gourmet food in the restaurant, amazing swimming pool and sauna complex. What a place. So, driving the new Alora, well, you do notice that the fact that it is narrow, it feels pretty much like a long camper van, if you like. I was quite concerned with the 130 engine, how it would cope with these mountain roads and the switchbacks and hairpins and steep inclines, and it's absolutely fine, providing you're in the right gear. It's got enough torque to cope with all the roads around here, which I have to say, some of them are a bit cracked, but they aren't potholed like UK roads, and they've been absolutely clear of snow. The locals do a fantastic job of keeping the roads open. Back to the Transit, and it comes fully equipped, so you've got cab air conditioning, you've got adaptive cruise control, you've got these big twin lens mirrors which give you a good view after, and the centre mirror of course is completely useless because there's no rear window. And then on the spec front you've also got automatic lights and wipers, which are nice to have. But of course the most obvious item of spec is the big sat-nav screen in the centre, 12-inch screen, which certainly beats most on the market. And it's really clear, it gives you excellent view when that becomes your reversing camera screen, and you've got sat-nav and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in there as well. Handling, yeah, it handles well on these twisty roads, no complaints at all. Most of the rattles seem to come from our pots and pans in the cupboards rather than from Bailey's items. The cooker lid chatters, you just heard that, and they do need to fit a strap to stop the tambour door to the washroom sliding about, but yeah, on the road you do benefit from having a smaller van. So, day 3 of the Alora in the Dolomites road test, and well, the second night was a lot more successful. With a full tank of diesel, absolutely no issues with the Truma heating. It kept the van really toasty warm, although it was at least -16 last night. Now, fold away the steps. Already shown you the slide away wardrobe, but there is yet more storage under the near end of the bed. Just access by lifting up the bed on these gas struts, and you can get to the wardrobe without sliding it out, but you've also got these open areas on either side. And then the only thing left to show you is the washroom. So the washroom behind this tambour door is quite a good sized space. The only thing that you might want to check out is thigh room around the cabinet here underneath the basin, but certainly it's more than adequate for me. There's plenty of leg room, shoulder room and so on. You've got 4 towel or robe hooks, shelves above and below here, and some storage behind the mirror. But the clever bit is that you just undo this catch, slide the whole basin, mirror and wall to the left, remove the false panel of carpeted floor, and then, well, you do need a curtain, I'm afraid, but it isn't one that you need to worry about because it just goes round, covers the loo and the bits of furniture, and it doesn't get in the way. And then your tap pulls out to become your shower head. You can either clip that to the ceiling or hand hold it, as I usually prefer. And this morning I had a toasty hot shower, very good shower indeed, good water pressure, 2 drains in the floor, so soapy sides went away, no trouble at all. And you can even press on the trimmer display for a 70-degree long shower, and I needed that this morning. It just woke me up and got me ready for the day. Once you've moved the mirror, your shelves become easily accessible because, well, the mirror's just moved across, the shelves stay there. Yeah, I think this is a really good use of space. Not a big washroom, but a very practical one. So, the Bailey Alora 69 4S. We voted it our best fixed double bed motorhome of 2024, and this test has really validated that award. It's got a good bedroom at the back with the usual proviso that one person may have to climb over the other to get to the loo, but then the washroom area is good too, and the kitchen's well equipped, typical British style kitchen. But the real difference is this lounge area, so different to the usual half dinette that you get in most narrow bodied motorhomes. And this doesn't feel like a small vehicle. It's under 7 metres long, 2.12 metres wide, but it feels so much bigger inside. And the other thing is that Bailey have learned from this trip. We've all learned about winter camping and the practicalities of it. Now, so much better to learn from experience like that in real life, not in a cold chamber or in theory on a computer. This is real serious testing, and that before the vehicle goes into production, well, that has to be good news for the customer, doesn't it? Would I come here again in the winter? You bet I would. It's an amazing place, amazing trip, and I like this van, I really do. Thanks ever so much for watching. Hope you've subscribed to the channel and tick the like. See you next time.